Hey everybody, we got another review here. This is from New Super Lucky Tale. This is a new game I played on Xbox Game Pass, and this game's fantastic. It really is, and that's why I had to pick up a copy of this. And they had it on sale recently instead of being 40 bucks, which it normally is, or about 35. They had it for 20, so I was like, I definitely have to get this game. So, what makes New Super Lucky Tale a great platformer and what makes it so whimsical? Well, it's very reminiscent of classic platformers like the Donkey Kong Country series and many others that you probably played in the 80s or 90s from the NES or the Super Nintendo. And one good example is the Kong letters. You remember when you collect all the letters throughout the level, K-O-N-G? Well, in New Super Lucky Tale, you collect the letters in that as well too. L-U-C-K-Y, that spells out his name. So it has little whimsical touches like that that really, for me, gets me nostalgic from the classic platformers that I played in the 80s and 90s. And Donkey Kong Country being one of the first ones. It's got platforming, it's got jumping, you've got, you bash the enemies. And again, the game is very simple, I will say. Like, compared to most traditional platformers, it's a very simple game. It doesn't really deviate itself too much from that, but at the same time, the audience is for younger kids. So, I mean, can I really be that upset? No, but sometimes I like to play a game that's just simple, fun, and whimsical. And this game, New Super Lucky Tale, guys, definitely is worth it. I actually ended up doing everything in the game. I got all the different costumes. I finished all the extra levels at the end. And I think it took me about 6 to 8 hours or so, clocked in to complete everything, which is about what it takes on howlongtobeat.com, which is a good website. If you guys are ever looking for a website that will tell you how long games are and how long it takes to complete games on average, that's a great website because it tells you like what your playthrough is, if you're going to do all the side quests, maybe do some of them, and then just the main storyline, so you can kind of break it down and gauge what you want to achieve or what you want to play throughout the game. So it's really, really good. Great website, great resource. So yeah, New Super Lucky Tale. If you like platformers, if you like games that are colorful and whimsical and simple to play, this game is definitely recommended. I definitely recommend playing this at a minimum. Definitely play it on the Xbox Game Pass if you have Game Pass through Xbox Series X or Xbox One X or any Xbox platform. Fantastic game. I loved how colorful the worlds are. I got to talk about that for a second. You feel very invited into the world. You feel like you want to keep playing. It's so vibrant and it just illuminates throughout every level. There's just so much detail. And in an era where we came from a lot of games that were considered gray or brownish and whatnot, it's very refreshing that these newer generation games are having more color and environments that really pop and they really capture the audience and they capture your eye and the attention to detail. I find myself like most games, even games like Skyrim's a great example, where I just go around spinning around the world just looking at the environments, looking at all the detail that the designers put into the game. And even the whimsical is very simple, upbeat, and charming. It's one of those games where you just want to keep playing. It's got puzzles as well too if you want to achieve some other gameplay elements, if you will. And what I mean by that is like it just kind of helps break up and mold up the gameplay. So you're not just going through levels bouncing on enemies. You also have puzzles in some areas. You also have some boss fights as well too. Again, they're not too difficult or anything like that, but still fun. So there's plenty of variety in this game for sure. It's definitely a game that don't expect it to be more than 10 hours long because it's not. And don't expect it to really be super difficult like a Demon Souls or Dark Souls kind of game, but you're not buying it for that reason or playing it for that reason. It's a fun, simple platformer, reminiscent of the games of the Donkey Kong Country era and the classic platformers and the mascots from that era. And it's kind of nice to see a new mascot because when I think of the mascot characters from the 90s and platformers, I think of Gex, I think of Spyro, Crash, all these big titans. And then here comes Lucky, who's this unknown character from a studio called Playful Studios. And I gotta say, this game is a lot of fun, as I've mentioned before, but I didn't play the first one. This is actually my first dive into that. I was actually contemplating between the Switch version and this version, but I ended up going with this version just because typically the Switch is not as powerful as the other consoles, so I like to play on the one that's a little more stable, and I do love the Switch. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a fantastic platform, has a lot of great games, has a lot of great variety, has a little bit of everything for every audience, whether you're young, old, or otherwise. So yeah, this is definitely a good game. I would definitely give it a rating of, I'd say 4 out of 5. It's a very solid game. The only reason I don't give it a perfect 5 is because it's kind of short and the challenge isn't super difficult, but it's very fun. It's whimsical. It's charming. And even the character, it's like, how can you resist a character like Lucky who says, yeah? I mean, how can you resist that? I mean, he just invites you in with that warm smile and that whimsical charm, that nature, his very adventurous spirit. infectious, if you will, because I just kept playing just because I see that little goofy fox just smiling on the camera every time I finished a level or a challenge. He'd go, yeah. So that's what I would say to play this game. Yeah, you have to play it. It's definitely fun. It's inviting. And it's a fresh of breath there, because for me, it's like, I love challenge. I love playing games of all variety, whether it's easy, hard, normal, whatever. But every now and then I want to unwind and play a simple game where I don't have a storyline. I don't really have to think about anything. I just want to jump and go through the levels and test my skills in platforming, or test my skills in solving puzzles or different things. And yeah, overall, I definitely recommend this if you love platformers. If you are new to platformers, I highly recommend it if you're just getting started and you're overwhelmed by the challenge of some of the other ones that are a little more difficult, like the newer Donkey Kong Country remakes, like the Tropical Freeze that was released on the Wii U and then was ported to the Switch about a year and a half ago or so, give or take. And yeah, overall, definitely check it out. This is another game that I would recommend the Vault. My next review coming up is going to be on the Untitled Goose Game, so watch out for that one. That game is a very fun game, and I have a lot of colorful and interesting thoughts to share about that one for sure. So that'll be coming out within the next week or so. So I look forward to sharing those thoughts with you on that game. And then if you guys have any games that you would like me to review, leave in the comments below what you're looking for. I play pretty much across everything. So until next time, definitely play this game, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.